and find something you're passionate about besides Ziggy.
Hey guys, so it's really good to see everybody. I couldn't hear that my intro for some reason. I am on a different. Oh. Okay, no. Okay, there we go. Thank you guys all for being here. I have kind of moved everything here into my bedroom. So welcome to where the magic doesn't happen. Okay, hey country girl. Hey Gloria. Oh, thank you, Okie. And that girl, Angie. Are you sure the streets are lethal right now? That's how it always is. I don't know. I guess I'm not like 100% sure like what I'm doing. This was something that I decided today, which if I would have gone by how I was feeling last night after that live, I would have probably not, because after yesterday I was like, oh, that was just a reminder why I don't do YouTube anymore. Hey hair curlers in crime, Canadians. Oh, thank you, Gingy. I might turn on another light here in a little bit. I just kind of like the ambience. The red. You know what? Oh, you can't see my the curtains in here. That's always such a topic of discussion here on YouTube. Hey, Georgia. Hey, purple. Is that really purple? Hey, Jenna. Thank you guys so much. It really makes me feel good that I get a warm welcome, you know, even though I know that some people, I mean, people are always going to have something to say, you know, but I needed to learn how to, and I'm still learning, I guess, to better balance my life where, I mean, I can still maybe do YouTube, but yet I can also make money outside of YouTube. I just need to be more balanced. And I feel like I've always been like unapologetically me, especially on YouTube, especially the past like year or so. So I'm not gonna like worry about what I say or shouldn't say or whatever. And I also don't want to like completely shut everybody out of my life just because of how some people like took it so far. So I am, you know, gonna kind of, I'm working on a cool intro that somebody has helped me with, and it will kind of describe how I want to continue the direction of this channel. It's not going to change much. I mean, as far as like, it's always going to be my truth. Hey, Sailor. Yes, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Oh, thank you, Crazy Chicken. Yeah, so I want to, I do want to let you guys into my life and stuff, and if I ever decide to start dating or whatever, and that stuff, I mean, but of course the nature of this channel was always supposed to be like true crime, and that's what brought us all together. So I don't and I don't mind being transparent and stuff, just that some people take it too far. So I might just not share like specifics, like of who specifically I'm dating, if that ever happens or anything like that, or whatever comes up. If I should move sometime or whatever, I might not say specifically where, I'm going to just be more careful about certain things I put out there, but yeah, I have to. And the reason why I personally, if I could have it my way, I would like let you guys know every single detail. I'm not at all embarrassed about my life or about my decisions or anything. It's just that I have to, there's other people affected too. Hey, Mrs. T. Live your best life. Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. Balance, and it's always good to look at. Yes, it's all about balance. I don't know what it was, but I woke up today and I was like, okay, I think today's the day that I'm going to go live. I'm going to have to figure out the setup here because this table right here is too high and I can't sit down and I'm also going to have to, maybe I can pull up my chat on my phone. I honestly have not watched, I've literally not watched any YouTube, like as far as in the community. I did watch a little bit of Tiffany Marie's a few days ago. That was interesting. That was like the first summer video I had really seen since 2 months ago when I left YouTube or whatever. I did watch Justin like a little bit, but besides that, I completely cut myself off from everybody and everything because and concentrated on just bringing stability to my life, so that I don't have to. You can only depend on yourself. You know what I mean? You can't ever. You can only count on yourself. I can't ever count on you guys to bail me out of situations. Because obviously, even though many of you have loved helping me out before and stuff like that, it just always becomes an issue and stuff. It's just better to have your own figure it out yourself sometimes. Okay, let me see here. Let's sit down. Hey, Sheba, I was wondering about you. Hey, Smiley. And I mean, yeah, some of the stuff, like, if I feel like somebody's just like, if I hide somebody or delete a comment, it's obviously because I know that they're just trying to start stuff. I don't mind, like, questions and stuff like that. It's just that I know when people are trying to stir the pot and just be, not let us sleep, or what is it called, sleeping dog lie or whatever. Just, it's so crazy that I came on here last night on my backup just to try to do some tarot readings. I was like, okay, let's go live and say hi to, on the backup, to people that, truly, just wanted, missed hanging out and stuff. And I thought, okay, maybe this will be a little bit safe, smaller amount of people. And it just got bombarded. And I could not believe that and this is not the first time I took like a break from YouTube. And this time I thought I was gonna be for sure. I thought I was done. And that's still always a possibility. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, if it ever, I have to always do what's best for me and my daughter. But I can't believe, it's just crazy to me that people, like, it's like I never left. Justin. I don't mind sharing some of my personal life. I like to, because I'm just transparent person, and I don't mind it, and everything's out there anyways. It's just when, people just won't take that as an answer, or they just have to dig and dig and dig, thinking that they're going to find something different than what I say. And it's just, oh my gosh. And if I don't say everything exactly, even if I do say everything exactly word for word of how it is and 100% without leaving out anything, it still like gets twisted. And that's how it's always going to be. And like I said before, I mean, that's just one of the things you have to deal with on YouTube. It's not like I'm the only person that has to deal with this shit. It's not like only, Hey, RJ. Oh, Pam. Been wondering about you, Pam. I hope you're doing good. Hey, we Scottish. I don't even have any really plan right now what to talk about. It was just to come on here, and I mean, we could talk about the cases and stuff. I mean, I just got done watching the Idaho 4 like Dateline special. I was getting ready for this, so I kind of, I didn't pay attention to like the last 30 minutes of it or whatever, so as well as I could have, but I'm really feeling in that case, and I don't know about you guys, and I know I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the YouTube opinion on it right now, because I have not been watching, literally have not been watching anything on any true crime, like in this community on YouTube, because I didn't want to be, I knew I would see something that would piss me off, or I don't know. Oh, thank you, Smiley. Have a good evening. Christy. I'm talking about Christy. Oh, really, Pam? It does look like a lightsaber, doesn't it? It's one of those lights. It also like can dance to the music and stuff like that. So just my opinion in the Brian Kober case, I don't feel like I don't I don't know if they. I mean, I do think that he's involved in some way, but I'm not even sure if they've got the right guy. Or I think that there's more involved. Um, Possibly one of the roommates, not involved directly. I know when you always say stuff like that, like it's it people get outraged. Hey, Amy. Oh, well, thank you, nicely done. Enjoy. Hey, reap what you sow. What's up, Aisha? See, I missed you guys. You looked for me on Kick. Well, I gave up on that like right away. Um, but people like Justin and Marissa are doing really great over there, and I hear that I hear there's a really great opportunity to make money there right now because now once the platform starts taking off more and more, they'll raise their cut. But I mean, for sure. But to hear that YouTube is, I don't know if they are or not now taking 50%, but that's absolutely ridiculous. Pam, I purposely like completely cut myself off from, I didn't really I didn't really even watch my email. So don't take it personally. Yeah, Justin, I think that there's no way that guy could have committed all those by himself. Um, he goes upstairs to the top floor. Okay, I guess that's where Maddie and Kaylee were. I think he. Isn't there rumors about? I don't know. It's kind of. I think there's drugs relate. It's drug related. I'm not saying that the kids at the house were like bad people or anything. And into really, I think that there was some type of somebody got associated with kind of indirectly with these really bad people, I think. And I think they might have partaken in some type of party drugs, like just socially. I don't think there was any like addicts or anything. I think it could be like ecstasy or something. Um, I don't know what happened, but somehow I feel like somebody in the house pissed off some pretty bad people, and I think that also Brian he had a connection, or he had a drug problem, even though he was gosh, he was about to have his doctorate. He was about to be Dr. Koberger. I think that he knew these same people too through the same reasons, like buying drugs. I don't, and I'm just trying to figure. I just don't think it was just him. I just really don't. Did you watch I was watching Aphrodite yesterday. He was live and he did a reading about the case, and he got so mad at the people in his chat because he was like talking about how Brian was, he thought he was good looking, that Brian Koberger was, he said, objectively good looking. Like, if I saw a picture of Brian Koberger, like, I'm not talking like a mugshot, but just like a picture. I wouldn't say he was ugly. Anyway, it's not that it's a big deal or anything, but oh my gosh, it got like heated in the chat over whether or not Brian Koberger was objective or conventionally good looking, like by social standards. And Aphrodite was saying that's why everybody was so shocked, because they thought the guy would be some type of incel, like loser who couldn't get any chicks or anything or whatever. And then when they arrested Brian, people were so shocked because he was good looking and looked like a normal guy, kind of. I'm like, gosh, I always thought he looked creepy. I never thought he was, but I try to look at it from Aphrodite's like perspective. Like, I could see, like, I mean, I think I watched that one, Amy. I just have recently started watching anything in the community the last few days. The Roger Papa thing. So if anybody doesn't know what that's referring to, I guess on Dateline, the Dateline special, they had brought up some type of account on, I think it was like Reddit or something, one of those. And sorry guys, I'm sick and I'm getting over it, but I don't know how long I'll be live, but that's okay. I'll be back just because my throat's hurting and stuff like that. About the Roger Papa was an account on Reddit or something that was, or some type of group that was posting comments about, he had mentioned the knife sheath before it even was out in public, that was left behind. So this account called Roger Papa or whatever had talked about the sheath being possibly left behind before it was even in public knowledge, which is a kind of, that's kind of a weird speculation. That's not something that you usually would speculate, really. A knife sheath, just because in the comment, this Roger Papa account said something like, they must have found the knife sheath because they have put out that it was a weapon that was a long fixed blade knife. And somehow the person who wrote the comment, from it being released on the news that the weapon was looked to be like a fixed blade knife, somehow this Roger Papa account got from that, oh, well, the killer must have left behind the sheath. That's how he knew that, or that's how they knew that it was a fixed blade. I mean, that's odd. Well, I also have, Amy, in my, I don't know, my head is all like stuffy, and thank you, Pam. Oh, really? Justin had that on his channel? Hey, Missy Demeanors. I didn't, like I said, I haven't been watching anything for the last couple months, so, and I really wasn't super into the Idaho case. Like, so this is, I'm just got interest in it because I don't know. Have you guys, I know that a lot of people aren't into like, readings and stuff like that as far as psychics, but there's this guy, what's his name? He goes by, let me find here. What the hell is his name? I'll think of it, but he was like, oh my God, crazy good. And he's saying that there was, I don't know if it's because of his reading that it, it is kind of because of his reading that I am, maybe we could pull that up if I could find it. It is very interesting. But I have to remember the dude's name. Maybe one of you guys will say it. Yes, thank you, Dee Dee. Sinus friends. Todd Segal. Oh my God! If you guys have not seen, hold on, let me turn this down. If you guys have not seen this, you need to. Holy crap, is this interesting? The guy's kind of eccentric, kind of an odd guy, but he at the same time is fascinating. This is on Todd Segal's Psychic Detective and Medium. I'll share the link here in a little bit. Oh, well, thank you, Marley. Somehow, yeah, so somehow I am continuing to lose weight. I don't know. That's another thing that, which is fine for me. I'm like, okay, good. But thing is, the same thing's happening to my sister, and she's having the same type of symptoms I'm having because I thought it was because of Jem's passing. But I do think that's how when it first started, but also, I mean, I know that for sure because I wasn't eating, but I have been so exhausted that especially during my time of the month, that is absolutely ridiculous. And come to find out, my sister's experiencing the same thing, and she had gone to like a regular checkup and found out her white blood cell count is super low. And so, and we started comparing symptoms that we've been having, and she's losing weight, which she's already super thin. So for her, it's not a good thing. And and she was experiencing the same stuff I am. She's supposed to go to the doctor today, and have a whole bunch of tests done. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go in too because something's going on. I don't know. Probably just hormonal. Get a tapeworm. I've heard of people doing that. You need another reading, Shiva? I would be more than willing. Raymond Guzman. Yeah, usually, I don't like. I try not to. I mean, we do over on this channel watch psychics and stuff like that, but I try not to talk too much about it. But this is super interesting. This guy is like the real deal. And this girl too. So this girl on here, that's what was so fascinating. They are both mediums. They also talked about the Delphi case in this. And in that, what was it? He said they were saying they both think that actually one of the girls was shot at the in the Delphi case, which is something I've never heard before. But they're both getting that. Can't remember if they said somebody else was involved in that. But he also, this guy says he doesn't see Brian as being the type because he's vegan. And he said that he was vegan for many, many years too. And I guess people that are hardcore vegan, like, you know, supposedly don't like blood and stuff like that. And, you know, they don't eat meat and they're just super, a lot of them are like, you know, kind of like tree huggers, which that's not anything negative. Yes, I guess I'm kind of hippie-ish. Or maybe that's very possible. Aw, thank you, Michelle. Any word on the trial dates? I haven't heard. The only thing I've seen on Delphi is this. And also I saw recently something about, they showed a picture of the guy, the suspect, and he's like, talk about losing weight. Holy crap. He's like bones now. He is, it's like he's been on some, it looks like to me that he's on some type of like food strike. I need to get my nose spray too. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'll get it while I start this. I want you guys to see. I kind of want to get to the part about the Idaho. I wish this guy would go over the Summer Wells case. I really would love to hear what this guy gets on Summer. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the part where they get to Brian.
At his home that has some DNA evidence from the girls.
Yes.
It's calling 911. I felt that one of the stalkers was actually somebody who I made a prediction that came true. And it was about him.
Oh, wow.
And he wasn't a client. Yeah.
Oh my.
So, you know, some of these things can get pretty sticky.
Yeah.
But relating back to this Brian guy, this is a tough one. Unless he's got a split personality, logic dictates no one person could have committed that act based on a couple of people that were awake.
I agree. Because you and I have talked, and
so supposedly both these people, well, they're both psychic mediums. The man I think is much more well known than the female. Sorry, I'm reading. Never heard of Nutrilove. Hey, Anastasia. I wanted to get right to the beginning.
it would make sense if there are two victims upstairs that were sleeping. It would actually be pretty easy to quickly stab those victims to the point of them being deceased. On your way down, though, you'd ultimately have to be in two places at once because you had perhaps one person in one room and another person in another room. And if you hear one person being killed or in the process of being killed or struggling, your first instinct is going to be to hide or to run. And I think
or yell out a window. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody would hear you. Yep. But if they didn't, it would be because you were being restrained somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe perhaps she was in the process of doing so, which I do believe that to be true. I think they did try to hide, but they were found.
That's what I got.
Yes.
I saw one in the closet, or it looked like
Yep.
it looked like a closet. I just saw that, I saw the closet rod in there. There was noise coming from a dog in another room.
Yeah.
There
And
was
he
a
was safe.
person, there was a person, a roommate in somewhere else, and she was texting to somebody.
Right.
I find it a little strange that nobody was calling 911. I felt that this person was texting somebody else.
So these two are very suspicious of one of the roommates. I don't know if they really even mention it. Is Letitia Stout vegan? Oh no, what's up, Sheba? Thyroid surgery. I went in for get my thyroid checked like a few years ago, so I've always heard that was probably because I don't know. I'm just some odd symptoms like, and they're like, oh no, everything came back with your fine with your thyroid. I was like shocked. So let's see where this. I wanted to get to
T for some reason. So I thought, well, this could be a location, a state like Texas or Tennessee. I was saying it was a summer day. There's a little girl about 9 years old walking home from a friend's house in the heat. It was summer on a dirt road in the country.
Investigated by professionals, but I mean, we are professional in our own sphere, but
I'll be right back.
If I was working on the ground, let's say with the Idaho murders, I would have a totally different perspective probably. I would be able to feed them so much information because certain facts about the case kind of trigger the vision for me. And I really haven't studied these cases at all. I try not to look at the news, at the media. I don't want anything to kind of bias what I see. But there will be certain facts that pop up. And you were talking about the Delphi case, and I got some triggers on that one too. We thought it was so straightforward, but I'm not sure it is.
No, it's actually not. And I have done extensive research on that case that was triggered by a vision that I held when seeing their photos right after the crime occurred. And I had actually gone so far as to writing a letter to the police, which I think I still have it, because there were so many things that were just so specific. And, it was very, very involved, very complex. And I don't think that this guy, I don't think it's his first time. I'm very concerned. He is very much a person that is a chameleon. He assumes one identity, but in fact holds several others. So
are you talking about the guy who's held in prison now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll tell you what really triggered me on the case that I didn't really know about before was that it took 5 years until they found the suspect.
Yes. After repeated interviews and the whole catfishing element, which we know is still a part of it, or we think it still is a part of it. It's just a matter of how improving that through their investigatory work. But yes, I don't think we're anywhere close to being over with that case.
So, I mean, all the details of about the crime itself. So, I read over some of that, but I have some things to add.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe one of the victims was shot in the back of the head. So I do. We know that they had a report that there were shells at the scene of the crime, bullets.
Yeah.
I guess you and I felt that they were coerced in a way, threatened by the gun. but I do believe that one of the victims, at least one, was shot.
Which one?
I want to say the victim with the blonde hair.
That's Libby.
There was something about cutting tools because the knife was used in this, and I told you I was getting a knife with very specific steel on it. So I'm going to put a couple of things out there. One of them is surgical steel, which would be used in surgical tools.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I got was a fishing knife. Specifically, the name Marlin came to me, which would be, and I looked it up on the internet, and it's the knife that he used for catching marlin.
About 9 years old, walking home from the friend.
Medical symbolism, like a tattoo or something, you know. I think I told you something of the cross of the snake or something like that, like the medical symbolism. And you said he was a pharmacist, right?
Yeah, he was actually a pharmacy technician for the CVS in Delphi, and he lived about 5 miles away from where the girls were murdered.
Mm-hmm. Any questions you have about that to me, about that case?
Well, I guess I'm wondering, first of all, have they recovered all of the evidence?
The evidence, I believe, has been recovered from the home, his home. I believe a lot of it were, computer stuff, laptops, that kind of thing. Did you have hunting stuff or something? Because I'm getting outdoor gear.
Outdoor gear. Yeah, and with this case, I was seeing that there was something buried on the property. Like he had taken something with him, like a pair of underwear, and possibly a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And it was taken and buried on the property. And I was seeing a little shed. I don't know if he had a shed in his backyard, but almost behind him would have been fields, and I was getting train tracks and corn, of all things, kind of stuck out to me. But it was kind of adjacent to that storage shed where something had been buried. And interestingly enough, they were searching through his like wood pit that you would, burn fires in if you have a group of people sitting around outside at night.
Yeah.
So
I felt that some evidence was burned, but not theirs, his. It could have been a shirt, could have been, even a pair of boots. There was blood on him.
Right. A big topic of discussion for some time. But there were, residential properties. So the girls were found actually on Ron Logan's property, who later died of COVID.
I get a significant, I said, or yeah, somebody's name. They'd give me, and I said, no, this is not for me. Gory details, but I knew there was a gunshot, and I felt that there was.
Back and saying there was no gunshot, nobody. The investigators are thinking as of this time.
I'm not sure why I see a second pair of tire tracks next to where his.
Might very well be ex-law enforcement. Who else could have been involved with various aspects of the production, the aftermath?
So sorry, I'm trying to get to a specific spot, but here they come up with a good theory that I think sounds like very, very similar to what I believe happened in the Summer Wells case. They think that this all, like with the Libby and Abby thing, that it is tied to a porn ring, a child porn. So, and that's something similar that I think with Summer, and they're mentioning how there's some higher up people involved, and I was like, wow, this sounds like really similar to how I felt about Summer.
That committed these murders. And I think they have him. But as far as who else could have been involved with various aspects of the production, the aftermath, whatnot, there may be more.
I think there are,
Mhm.
because I told you I felt that there was a porn ring going on. I see at least 3 other people.
Yes.
It's kind of like one of them, I believe, does have a record. I believe a felony record from long ago.
Hmm.
I was getting a letter M with a name, possibly, and a letter E. So I'm getting different names thrown at me.
One of the names I had recorded was Michael.
Okay. I also get somebody whose letters might be abbreviated for his name, like MC or, JD or something like that, like as a nickname. Yeah, so there's some bad stuff there. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
From what I feel.
Did you feel as though there was a connection between the Delphi murders and an arson that impacted the lives of 4 little Black girls in a neighboring town, Flora, Indiana? That happened about
It could have also been what I saw as a Black person committing it. Could have also been the target too.
Yes. Yep.
But we're dealing with sticky.
Hmm.
We're treading on very kind of risky territory here if we're talking about things like that, unless this is a known fact out there.
I do believe it is one that has been speculated. Often the rumor has been that there are some very high profile, powerful people involved in parts of this. And of course, that's just rumor. There has been so much rumor regarding this case, and that's the last thing that we ever want to add into any of
some of the stuff that comes to me, I don't even want to say sometimes, because I feel that it's played out by people in high power.
I can understand that. Reason to witness these things. It's refreshing to know that I'm maybe not alone in this. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, well, we're living in a society that it's getting, telling the truth is a criminal act.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And the problem is, I mean, if you're a lawyer, and you don't understand that the system's unjust, then you're not a very good lawyer.
No.
You can say that there's a level of justice there, but every person that's needs the truth or facts about something is being pushed down by laws that are eliminating their rights.
Right. This is all a matter of good and evil, and it's written. It has to be this way. We've learned so much about these issues.
I actually have
Yes.
written testimonies from law enforcement officers, letters of recommendation, but I'm not surprised because I do this all the time.
Yeah.
This is just a more public case. Well, they've got a problem from what I've seen and from what you've seen too.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I do those things daily. So, and then months later, the follow-ups from customers will write to me and give me feedback. So the Idaho case doesn't really surprise me what's coming up. The problem with that one is, well, they've got a problem from what I've seen and from what you've seen too.
Yes.
So I've done, before we've done, we were going to start this video, I have done some work on my own to see what I get.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be confusing to some people out there. It might open up a whole can of worms too. Because I know there was new rumors and stuff, and I didn't even listen to any of that stuff, but you probably have heard of all of that. Rumors about roommates and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, I think it came true that, someone in the beginning said, no, they weren't asleep. And that came true. Or at least I'm getting 2 of them.
2 were not asleep. I got that as well.
I mean, do you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the guy who's going to be in trial, Brian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay, so this is where they get into talking about the Idaho case. That's kind of where I was looking for. This guy is named Todd Segal. They're both these people here are doing a collaborative podcast together, and they're both psychic mediums or claim to be. And they both of their viewpoints seem very similar about the cases they discuss, including the Idaho case. They don't feel like Brian was the actual killer, that they don't think that he's the, well, they'll explain it. They could have been, I don't know. Do you guys feel like they could have, like, I feel like he was involved, but that there could have been some type of like setup in a way. Yeah, his name is Richard Allen, Chastity. The suspect in the Delphi case is Richard Allen. I'm going to have to, Molly Brown. Yeah, everybody hit the like for me, at least. BK the Fall Guy, yeah. Thank you, Justice for Rose. Yeah, I'm still trying to get over a sickness. And so I'm not going to be on that long. I also have I am working outside of YouTube, obviously, doing other things. So I have a little bit of work to do. I don't know. Who knows? I might be back on later. And kind of more explain what I'm trying to do with this channel. Hey, Sammy. Hey, Squirrely Girl. Was I the only one arrested? Yes, Dee Dee. Hey, Justice Jane. Yes, Dee Dee, that is exactly true. I guess when Brian Kohlberger was arrested, he asked if he was the only one that had been arrested. Thank you, Rimming. I appreciate that. Antisocial Together. Oh, thank you, Sammy. Wow, still a member. You continue to be a member throughout even the hiatus of. Hey, Red. Just so I seriously would love to, but I don't think I'm going to be in a place like financially that I'll be able to, because that's so soon. That's in, just like 3 weeks. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to afford it this time. So it's going to break my every 6-month thing. But it's okay. I could always go the next month or something, I guess. Hey, K-Love.
I brought up the fact to you that he was a vegan. Yes,
Yeah.
vegan, strict vegan. And I told you that I was a vegan for over 15 years when I was younger, all the way up until my mid-30s. And I started one of the first vegetarian bed and breakfasts in New England. It was very well known. It was very popular, and I had long hair then. I looked like somebody out of the '60s. growing my own herbs and vegetables in the garden and cooking on wood stoves and going out in my orchard and gathering fruit and blueberries and stuff. And I was just the quintessential pioneer guy. And but I bring this up because I was a vegan and I knew a whole ton of other ones. And there are downsides to that way of life, but I can tell you something. It does change you. It does change who you are, how you act, what you're for, what you're against. I mean, this guy who they've held, man, he is, you know. Now, is there another side to him that I've run into with cases, double personality, you know, and that is, you know, I keep that possibility. Is that something a psychic sees though? Not all the time.
No.
I mean, we can talk about some of the women I've dated, but that's a whole other topic with double personality.
I think most of us have that anyways at times.
But going back to him, he's going to be on trial soon. I think I said that the lawyer would change hands, which I think happened, right?
Yes, it did.
You know, he's pretty smart because he took courses in criminology, and one of the first things that you learn, not that I'm a student of criminology, okay, not that I'm a student of anything, but what your rights are, legal rights are.
Yes.
So anything that you say will be held against
you in a court of law. Yes.
So he knows those things. I think that's why he kept quiet. But there's some key things that did, and he hasn't said much, right?
No.
But I keep going back to this when he was first brought in, and he asked if anybody else was brought in too.
Yep.
Keep going back to that. You know, the other fact about him, he was a stalker.
Yes.
I have stalkers too. No, I do. In my line of work, I've had them over the years. I've had some that were pretty bad that I had to call the police about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel his pain. Something we all have in common. Yeah, so I guess when Brian was arrested, he said something like, "Oh, was I the only one?" Well, there's been some comments deleted, of course, but they were much more ballsy in the smaller chat yesterday, but fortunately, I'm not like feeling the best right now. Of course, maybe it wasn't the best time for me to have my comeback, but let's continue to see what he's about to say here.
And anyway,
you're a heartbreaker over there, Todd.
I think, you know, I just think they want all the answers of life, and I cannot give them those answers, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you some stories. Some of the one of the stalkers was actually somebody who I made a prediction that came true, and it was about him.
Oh, wow.
And he wasn't a client. Yeah.
Oh my.
So you know, some of these things can get pretty sticky.
Yeah.
But relating back to this Brian guy, this is a tough one. Unless he's got a split personality, logic dictates no one person could have committed that act based on a couple of people that were awake.
I agree. Because you and I have talked, and it would make sense if there are two victims upstairs that were sleeping. It would actually be pretty easy to quickly stab.
Yes, he has solved cases before and helped people find, you know, he talks about it in this live if you want to check it out. I'll post the links again, but his name is Todd Siegel. If you just type in Todd Siegel or however you say his name and Idaho 4, it will come up. He talked about how, unfortunately, like the he's asked police departments and stuff if they could use as, their testimony, like their testimonials, like about his, him helping solve cases and stuff. And they ask him not to post it. So he does work with police. She has too, but they won't let them. Well, he at least says they won't let him post any type of testimonies or anything about, I don't know. I guess it just it's, how people are about psychics and stuff, and I understand. Oh, so you've seen this, Dee Dee? Oh yeah, that definitely gets brought up here, the mental illness, and if he's going to go that route. I want. Oh,
God's gonna show you.
No, stop! I'm on camera. Go.
Do you see?
Hold on, guys.
Those victims to the point of them being deceased. On your way down, though, you'd ultimately have to be in two places at once because you had perhaps one person in one room and another person in another room. And if you hear one person being killed or in the process of being killed or struggling, your first instinct is going to be to hide or to run. And I think
Or go out a window.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody would hear you. But if they didn't, it would be because you were being restrained somehow. Maybe perhaps she was in the process of doing so, which I do believe that to be true. I think they did try to hide, but they were found.
That's what I got.
Yes.
I saw one in the closet, or it looked like
Yep.
it looked like a closet. I just saw that, I saw the closet rod in there. There was noise coming from a dog in another room.
Yeah.
There
And
was a person, there was a person, a roommate in somewhere else, and she was texting to somebody. I find it a little strange that nobody was calling 911. I felt that this person was texting somebody else, a female. But I'm going to I'm going to say a couple things. I'll put them out there. This is just my opinion or things that I saw. But so this Brian, I'm not saying he didn't do it, but I know I saw a few other people.
Yes.
And you did too.
I did too.
I saw another vehicle too, which I believe was a truck. I believe there was a white truck seen on one of the streets nearby, and somebody had a video of it or something. It drove by very fast. It was in the morning time. But here's the thing. Let's talk about time for a minute. Now this is something new that I'm getting. I'm getting two different times that this happened. Two groups, two sets, two times, which I did not get before. I mean, hey, is it possible that this Brian is actually psychic and he was showed up at the crime because he felt it was going to happen and unleashed his knife and they took it away from him and he ran? I mean, I don't think so, because there's already physical evidence from him. I do sense that there was a clothing article, something of his that was recovered at his home that has some DNA evidence from the girls.
Yes. Did you pick up that there was something on his bed, like blood on a
pillow
cover?
Yeah,
That's
it was like in his room.
Yes.
So it's not looking really good for him. But here's the problem: is I knew I saw these other suspects, physically strong suspects that had day jobs doing mechanical or something heavy duty. Who I saw the tattoos. I saw one with a beard. I saw one with a dog. I mean, all these other things that I talked about still ring in my ear. Now, the thing that we have to really talk about is the motive, though. And that's something I don't usually get into, but in this case, I think we need to. There's usually a few different motives, like in the cases that I've seen. It's usually drugs, love. It can be anger, okay, money, that kind of thing. There's these things. So I keep thinking about not the motive of this Brian guy, but just the motive in general of why this happened. And it was to shut them up.
Right.
And about what? Well, I mean, if you look at the statistics of all the drug crimes going on right now, if you become if you become a voice of concern, or if you're telling your friends about this guy or that you got drugs from or whatever, they'll come over with this guy and shut you up.
Right.
They have a very short fuse. And I said in the beginning, this person had a record, a criminal record, who did this. So if it wasn't this Brian guy, it's almost like I know this sounds strange, but I almost see like this Brian guy there. But then I also see other guys that came at a different time.
Yeah.
That's what was weird, because
You guys hear now this little new speculation about his, this friend that he made while in school. It was either like a coworker or classmate or whatever. And he and, suppose, I don't know how they know this. I think this chick is just now speculating that it was him that broke into her apartment. But supposedly somebody broke into her apartment and rearranged shit and stuff, but didn't steal anything. And then, she called her good buddy, Brian Koberger, to come over and, like help her or whatever. He suggested video cameras and he installed them for her. But somehow now it's been said like, oh, well, he, first he did that so he could be, her hero and help her out and be there, but then also so he could have access to her cameras, which I don't know how they know this stuff or if they even know it, but for sure. But it kind of makes me wonder, if like, could he have it now that he's mentioning like two groups of people, like, because he mentions this weird theory about, oh, Brian was psychic, and that was crazy. He's just being silly there, I think. But did Brian want to be a hero so that he could like win over the girl? I think he had I think he was into the one blonde, the little bit thicker blonde. I know a lot of people thought it was Maddie, but I think it's Kaylee. I've always thought it was Kaylee, even before, and yeah. Brian was studying. Oh, really? Did BTK also say when he was caught, am I the only one arrested? Did he say that? I don't know about a basement or trap door. I don't remember anything about that. Hey, Susan Hayes.
He's going out the front door, and I see guys over by the couch by the back door, and then I see the vehicle or the truck parked on another street. His is like more like out in the open.
Yeah, but on the street above, like kind of behind the house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Two different directions. I mean, this is very strange. It's either like, they all picked the night to come there, or they were all in it together.
Mm-hmm.
But something about a roommate knows something.
Yes, and I certainly don't want to talk illy about any of the surviving roommates because of all of the tragedy that they have gone through with us, and there has been so much hate thrown about on the internet towards them. But I can tell you, I agree with you. I am almost kind of wondering if we know. I mean, there is evidence that has been collected, digital photographs, whatever. They have collected computers. They have collected identifications. They've, everything that they can from Koberger. So I know that this guy was obviously obsessed with one of the victims, who I believe to be Kaylee. Mm-hmm. And when I was first looking into, the pictures of the victims, I heard Molly, and I said, "Is that a person?" And she says, "Drug." So Molly, and I saw blue pill, and I looked it up, and it's like ecstasy. So that's not to say that anything was going on with the victims, maybe distributing whatever. I don't know. But
I don't think they were like a drug house, though. I don't think that they were involved in that kind of stuff. I actually think it was just a that town personally has got some big drug issues, just like every other town in America, but even more so because it's a town right on the border. Any town on the border, it becomes a safe haven for let's go in, let's get out of town. Different jurisdiction, and it's that. So you've got hardline drug people. And the thing I was saying about the roommate is just that it's possible that it could have been somebody this person saw in town or heard an argument with one of the other girls. It was something of like, this wasn't just a random, unplanned act.
No.
It was going on for a little while. And definitely one of the victims, I know she kept telling me intuitively that she knew this would happen. She just thought this was going to happen. So
Yeah.
she was on to somebody who was bad.
Right. And it was almost as though she had made a mistake by interacting with someone she didn't realize was as bad as they were. And then by the time she did, she was in too deep. But then you also have Koberger, who is, researching criminals and has a history of drug use. And quite honestly, I believe, given his, what he was working towards achieving, being a PhD candidate and working in criminology, this guy is very OCD, like very OCD, very much. Like he's like crazy. If there's a wrinkle in something, it has to be just completely wiped away. Like things have to be perfect. And he was under so much maybe self-induced but induced stress that I felt like he was having to medicate somehow to relieve that anxiety and to be able to stay awake at night to function. So there's a connection, I believe, there with maybe he knowing somebody that was actually involved or could have been connected through him in carrying out these crimes.
A lot of times a very OCD personality takes on the form of other people because they find it hard to identify with themselves. They tend to find these role models and they obsess about it, it's kind of like his study of criminals, obviously. Am I really one, or could I do this, or that. So there could be some things like this, but going back to the vegan viewpoint of this, it's killing, stabbing. It's just not a characteristic of somebody who eats beans and rice. Just saying. I'm not saying that he couldn't, but there's so much stuff about his personality that doesn't fit what I saw, because the person who was actually doing the bad acts there was a lot stronger than this Brian. Strong arms, actually a little shorter.
And he was older.
What's that?
He was older.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, how old's this Koberger?
28.
Yeah, I'm going probably in the 30s to 40s. Short hair, but blondish, lighter hair type, complexion. I'm getting really heavy eyes around the eyes. The personalities that I saw were just hardcore. Like, we're doing a job, we're getting them out of the way. Bye, we'll see you. Let's go eat lunch. That's how that's the mentality I saw. Koberger would be somebody who would probably get some towels and wipe up something and make sure everything's in place. But apparently the place was a mess, wasn't it?
It was. They had just had a party there the night before, or recently, prior to.
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
So there had been hundreds of people over there, and the place was known for being a party home, which not to say that the victims themselves were engaged in illicit activity outside of drinking, but people that attend those types of parties. One thing that really stood out to me was this is an area where you have two very specific groups of people. You have the locals and the college students, and they're very different.
So anyways, it said she thought she was being stalked and he was stalking someone. Yeah, supposedly, coming out that supposedly his sisters had suspected that he was somehow involved. I would love to know if that, I'm guessing that's probably true. It seems like he's pretty close with his father, but we haven't heard from any of his family, and they weren't at the court hearing. I don't blame him. That would be freaking highly uncomfortable. I guess this was a really small space. where during this last court hearing, and being in there with Brian right there. I mean, can you imagine? I guess the courtroom could hold 50 people, and 25 of the people were all family of the murder victims. And so that's half the courtroom full with family. And yeah, can you imagine seeing the person? I mean, oh my gosh. Can you imagine too, also with Brian, how like, I don't know, that'd be crazy. Having all the family of the people that he allegedly killed there behind him, like the tension could be cut with a knife. Oh, really? He's going to do a live about Summer Wells? Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. That's what I was hoping for. Since they would have gone to PA to Idaho and he told them not to be. Yeah, and exactly. It could be just a travel issue. If he was a decent person, I would tell his, I can't put myself in his place because I can never do something. It's hard to even imagine being able to do something like that. But I would tell my family not to be at the court. But, usually people in those type of positions are, on being charged with capital murder times 4, or first degree murder or whatever, times 4, like usually they don't have empathy to really care like what their family will be going through in the courtroom or with bystanders around the courthouse. Thank you, Diana. And we'll talk more here maybe later tonight. I just wanted to come on here and say hi. And, I kind of got into that because I had watched that last night and it kind of came up. I know it was. Yeah, that is weird that his dad like flew across. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not really weird, I suppose. I mean, it could have meant nothing. I think a lot of people, if it was a female driving alone all the way across country, that definitely would make sense that, a parent might fly to Washington to accompany their college student, accompanying them on their long drive home across the United States. I guess he's, Brian being 28 and stuff, and sorry. Here, let me put the link to that up. Sorry about that. I just put up her link, but here it is. Actually, let's go to his. Here is his link, guys. Yeah, I would say definitely check him out. He seems very interesting. What's my other channel? Oh, thank you, Susan. Well, I'm glad you were here too, Pam. My backup channel is Empress Ziggy. Let's see. I think it's if you just hit exclamation backup. I think it comes up. Let's see. There we go. Or no, that's not it. That's my Cashapp. Right there. Yeah, getting Ziggy with it. Subscribe to my backup channel. And there you go. There's the link. But that's where I do like my spiritual, when I did readings and stuff. I do readings over there and stuff. I have been, let's see. The sister's a doctor. I guess he would have needed his vehicle, so is anybody else buffering besides K-Love? I've only seen K-Love. I've only seen where K-Love has complained about the buffering. Yeah, I was live last night, and that live is not up because it got. Usually, I don't know if things have changed since I've never had this happen. Usually, when you play music, they just demonetize your video. But this time, they made it so nobody can watch it. So I didn't get like a strike or anything, but they took it down. I've never had that happen before, so that's why it's not up. At first, I just got an email stating that it was going to be that people in Russia couldn't view it. I was like, okay, that's odd. And I don't really think I have many Russian viewers, so whatever. Has a whole new set of rules. Yeah, on top of taking like 50% of earnings too. That's absolutely insane. So I'm gonna play it slide then. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, Country Girl, I am sure that they have it freaking screen recorded. We know at least one person whose channel starts with a number. She was definitely right there recording the whole thing. I'm sure they're fine. Well, they can't just strike me just because. You know what I mean? It was because of the music. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Country Girl. She is such a psycho. I would have never dreamed. Like, if you would have asked me, I would have joke around and say, oh, she's, being obsessive and stuff, but I would have never dreamed that we would be here over a year after I had filed for the protective order. Here we are over a year later, and she is still doing the same stuff. And that's scary, guys. That is freaking really scary, actually. It freaks me out. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just haven't, it just does. Hey, Chef Angela, are you Stormy as in Stormy, the one that sent me the sage and stuff? Because I thought she turned on me. I needed. It is creepy. It is. It's just so, and but okay, there is okay, Chef Angelo. Yeah, like sage, like you know the sage that you can clear energy and stuff. She sent me some of that. Let me see if those links I added. Okay, they're Julie optional too because they kept doing. Oh, I'm sure they're like super like salivating. I cannot wait to talk about me. It's we'll come back. I'll come back later and talk some more. I'm not really comfortable in this spot. I'm going to move some things around or just go back to my other spot. I thought this area would be more quiet and stuff, but it's really not. It's right by the bathroom. So give them a reason to breathe. It's really extremely pathetic. But, you know, I just tell these people, you know, instead of coming on YouTube and yelling from or bitching on YouTube, if you really think that, oh, you know, something criminal was done, okay, file a freaking file with the courts and deal with it that way. I'm like zero scared. I'm like not scared at all because I know I all that matters is like I know myself. I know like my intentions and why I've done certain things and why I haven't. Whatever. I always try to do the right thing. I mean, that's all I can do, you know? Well, thank you, Cheryl. They got. Oh, thank you, Red. They got TP'd last night. What's TP'd? What do you mean TP'd? Toilet papered? Oh, because they're poo? Okay. That's just, I'm sorry. Like, no hate or like to anybody else who like is in some type of weird clique on YouTube or whatever, and you change your name to like your, like Ziggy Poo, put poo at the end, or put Ziggy Jerk. But these people go around with these names like so proud. It is like, that is so freaking immature in high school that it just shows how insecure these people are, that they feel like it makes them belong or something to have poo at the end of their name. With, and when they're specifically a channel just about talking shit, literally. Hey, Rue. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a headache. It sucks because I'm tired of being sick. I've been sick for like ever, it seems like. I know they came in the chat like just like going off about shit, like where the hell like is this coming from? I've been gone for 2 months, and I swear I have not been in contact with anybody. They were even accusing me of being in contact with Levitt. No, I did not have time for that when I was trying to get my freaking life together and stable. Hey, Jade. Who are these weirdos? Just. Oh, yeah, it's not something that's going to really come up much. It has been a while. It's been almost 2 months, Pam. I really didn't think I was going to come back on ever. So, oh, hey, Shelly. It was since the end of March. So yeah, Candace and Dawn moved. Did they actually like move? Mm-hmm. Thank you, RJ. Oh, real. I don't know. Why would you want to leave an area that your daughter went missing? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know you have to live your life and stuff, or maybe that is why they want to leave the area, because I'm trying to look at things from, be not biased. I'm trying to look at things like, but like, with open mind. Did they lose their boys like completely now? I mean, is that for sure? Because maybe, I don't know. I'm trying not to like, I just can't imagine leaving the area with your daughter missing. But I mean, if they get the boys taken away from them and then they're at this house in Tennessee and there's no kids around, and it's just a reminder of, that they lost all the kids and stuff. Boys are gone per dawn. He said they would be better off. Is this a new call, Darlene? Wait, what? Hold on. No. Hold on.
Can I show you?
Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, so I guess it's not going to be a good area. A toddler motherfucker. Candace wants to stay in Tennessee. He says he let CPS take, I'm trying to find, there was a comment I was getting into, minded to Chessie. What does this mean? Minded to, he said, what happened to that Ziggy chick? Who said that? Oh, your husband's. Aw. Okay, I will PM. Yeah, I know. He's trying to, I don't know. It's probably a way for him to, oh, I just let them have them. Yeah, it's better for him anyways. Really? A drug deal? Her gangster friends. That are like 14. All right, guys. I know I've already said this a million times, but I'm going to go. We'll talk later, okay? It's really good seeing everybody. Have a good rest. Oh my gosh, it's already 7:15. Okay, have a good rest of your day, and I'll try to come back later.